Yet another round of litigation over rules for doling out COVID relief funds. Tonight, it's private schools in South Carolina suing over being blocked from funds meant to help students. So let's dial up an is it legal debate with criminal defense attorney David Bruno and Washington Times legal affairs reporter and attorney Alex Swear. Great to have you both back. To set the scene a little bit, this is a state case in South Carolina. I want to read what's called the Blaine Amendment, which, critics say blocks the money from going to a religious or parochial Catholic school, something like that. It says no money shall be paid from public funds, nor shall the credit of the state or any of its political subdivisions be used for the direct benefit of any religious or other private educational institution. So, Alex, the state Supreme Court there upheld this ban on this money, this federal money flowing to these private schools, and there were some colleges as well. But now there's going to be a federal case on this. Do you think the chances are better through that avenue?
I do think that there could be an appeal in favor of the Catholic plaintiffs for a couple reasons. One, when it was in the state Supreme Court, they said that the language of the CARES Act didn't it didn't say that funds could specifically be used for private or religious schools. But what it did say, it said that it's up to the governors to have that discretion. So I think that that's really good language that the Catholic plaintiffs could point to and say, hey, who is the court to second guess what our governor said originally that we could be included in that. And then also there is Supreme Court precedent in 2017 and 2020 where the justices have been skeptical of states using these Blaine amendments to exclude religious organizations, whether a church or a school.
Yeah, and David, there are some who say these Blaine amendments are not neutral on their face. The critics of this one claim that it was something that was post-Civil War that was meant to, hurt freed slaves, their opportunities, and also Catholic immigrants. Where do you think this goes with that Supreme Court precedent in mind?
Yeah, I think that the state's going to be allowed to distribute the money to the private schools and the religious institutions. And I say that because of a recent case in 2020. It was Espinoza versus Montana. And it was very similar because in that case, they were offering state tax benefits to fund money for scholarships. And then ultimately, the state said that the scholarships can't be used for religious institutions. And it went all the way up to the United States Supreme Court. And it was Chief Justice Roberts in a 5-4 decision. And at the time, Justice Ginsburg was in the minority there, and that composition has changed a little bit, and they struck it down on free exercise clause. So that's one point for the religious institutions. And then there's the motivation as to why the law was passed. And that was also argued, and you referenced it, about the prejudice. And it was post-Civil War that these Blaine amendments were passed. And there's a recent case, 2020, Ramos versus Louisiana, which says that we got to look past the neutral reading and look towards the motivation of the law. So with that tweak in the law, that may be a good basis for the equal protection argument.
Knowing the makeup of the court now, I'll ask you guys to give me a guesstimate, just your best guesstimate on how you think the vote would go down. 6-3, 5-4. What do you think, Alex? At the Supreme Court.
I'm guessing 6-3. 6-3 based on Justice Roberts having been in the majority in previous cases like what David just was discussing, and also the fact that we've seen Barrett be open to religious liberty with some of these COVID lawsuits that have come forward.
David, quick final prediction from you.
Yeah, I agree because of the 5-4 decision, and we add Justice Comey Barrett instead of Ginsburg. So I agree with Alex.
Okay, we're going to track this case. David and Alex, thank you so much for weighing in. Good to see you both.
Pleasure. Good to see you guys.